want you to hate yourself from the top of your
Go down to the description box right now to hear more Malcolm, Les Martin, my man Riz featuring Conway the Machine in its entirety in the description box right now, exclusively on iTunes. Don't wait. Hit the button right now. Let's go.
We'll wait on it. I want to talk about this real quick, oh God. I mean, unless you have something else on James.
No, go ahead.
Dan Reed. I don't know. Dan Reed. I know you might not know him by name, but he is the creator of the Neverland docuseries.
Okay.
Documentary, excuse me. Now, he explained that there's a version of the docuseries that ran for 5 hours and included interviews with many people connected to Michael Jackson, the 2005 trial, including the LAPD and Santa Barbara Sheriff Department, who conducted investigations as well as the main prosecutors and deputy DA. Now, those clips did not make it onto the final cut of the docuseries, but Reed said that he's interested in making a sequel to the Leaving Neverland revolving around Michael Jackson's 2005 case. Now, here's the details on this, and I want to put this in because it's interesting. The film I would really like to make following this one is the trial of Michael Jackson. I could only do it if the victim and his family participate. It would be a much weaker film if they didn't. I don't want to follow Leaving Neverland with a weaker film. What's your thoughts on that? Now, you put a phenomenal video out,
right?
Talking with Michael Jackson, saying things that they're not putting out right now in the mainstream media. And he's talked about this, how they violated him. We've talked about this on the podcast, and we don't see a lot of support. Yeah. And now we see that there may be some more coming out on Michael Jackson because maybe this didn't do enough damage. So I know we talk about it ad nauseum, but I just kind of wanted to throw support to
his
the
family,
situation.
Well, his family's fighting. I mean, you've seen Twitter behind the scenes. They're putting up. That's why they need to actually come here onto the podcast.
Facts.
And and sit down and really let's get through this information together and put it out to the masses, because it's just like you're not going to win a battle on Twitter, but if you come onto a platform like this, we can get it out for you. But it's just like the Michael Jackson situation, man. I don't know what else information they could bring out, because if they're going to bring out, talking about bringing out the sheriff and different things like this, bring me facts. I don't want to hear what people are saying. Bring us DNA evidence saying, because when you talk about the film that I put up, Mike talks about what he had to endure as far as them, the sexual examination, the rigorous stuff that he just had to endure. Obviously, we know what happens when you're accused of sexual assault. So if you're not showing me facts, I don't care. I don't care what else they got to say. I mean, at this point, man, it's just like, it's crazy. I mean, it's allegations still.
Is this just the stamp and the nail in the coffin that this is the media trying to destroy this man's legacy to get their music? If this ain't it, I don't know what is. If you still need more after this, like, and you still just trying to continue to destroy, even the people that say, damn, he did this. Now you got to look at it and go, wait, what else is there to do now? What else do you want? You want his music gone so that he can't get paid on it anymore? Because you see
it's slowly starting, them pushing for that. Things coming off the shelves, things, scaling back. We talk about the UK pulling music. They slowly, surely now, with the way they got the music set up now, we talk about not having hard copies. Now you can make somebody disappear if they got mere allegations. This is not cool for anybody, man. Like, he had his time to go to trial, and it was interesting. Macaulay Culkin. And matter of fact, I pull up the clip when Macaulay Culkin actually talked about Michael Jackson. So let me find that clip real quick, and I'm gonna play that.
Now, I was in a barbershop with my son. He was getting his hair cut. I'm talking to one of my bros, and he was saying that how, I guess the dude, Wade Robson, right. He was upset that Macaulay Culkin was the new Wade Robson. Apparently, that was the thing that they tried to spin.
Right.
That he took his place as being Michael Jackson's boyfriend. Some wild shit like that.
Let me just play it. I'm play what he says, and then we'll just go from here.
Let's do it.
We have to cover it, so let's ask about it. What's the relationship that you had with Michael Jackson?
Had or have? I mean, whatever.
Let's go with had.
Listen, he's a good friend of mine, and he still is. I mean, everything's going on. I mean, it's unfortunate. It's an unfortunate situation for everyone involved. And
How did you first get to meet him?
I first met him. He kind of called me randomly, like out of the blue. You're just kind of like, hi. It's Michael. And it was like, hey. And the thing is,
after Home Alone.
This is after Home Alone. I actually had met him before I was doing Nutcracker at Lincoln Center. I was playing Fritz, and he came backstage one day, and I actually met him very briefly. And he kind of recognized me because it was after I'd done Uncle Buck, and so he kind of mentioned something, and then he calls me up kind of out of the blue. And it's kind of just this weird random thing. And he was like, why don't you come over to my house? And thing is, I didn't react to him the way most people did. Most people were like, Michael Jackson. And, you know, I mean, he was a god to people. And to me, he was, you know, I knew he was a pop singer, but beyond that, you know, I wasn't one of the fans. I think that's one of the reasons why we connected, was the fact that, believe me, I call him a jerk all the time. I call him a fathead and this and that, you know.
Your brother knew him too?
Yeah, no, we all did. I mean, he was, you know, a family friend.
What happened at the house? That's what all these things.
It's, you know, that's what's so weird, you know.
What is that?
Nothing happened, you know. I mean, nothing really. I mean, we played video games, you know. We you know, played in some amusement park. Well, the thing is with that whole thing is that, you know, they go, oh, you slept in the same bedroom as him. It's like, I don't think you understand. Michael Jackson's bedroom is 2 stories, and it has like 3 bathrooms and this and that. So when I slept in his bedroom, yeah, but you have to understand the whole scenario. And the thing is with Michael is that he's not very good at explaining himself, and he never really has been, because he's not a very social person. I mean, you're talking about someone who's been sheltered and sheltering himself also for the last like 30 years, or, you know, and so he's not very good at communicating to people, and not very good at conveying what he's actually trying to say to you. And so when he says something like that, you know, people, you know, he doesn't quite understand why people react the way that they do.
Why do you think he likes young people?
It's because the same reason why he liked me was the fact that I didn't care who he was. That was the thing. I talked to him like he was a normal human being. And that's what, and kids do that to him, because he's not, I mean, he's Michael Jackson, the pop singer, but he's not the god of, you know, the king of pop or anything like that. He's just, you know, a guy who's actually very kid-like himself and wants to go out there and wants to play video games with you.
Did your parents
like
encourage it?
They weren't against it. You know, it wasn't like they encouraged it or like pushing me upon it. It was just kind of like I wanted to hang out with them, and they were fine with it.
So what do you make of what he's going through now?
Like I said, it's unfortunate, and you know, it's a circus right now.
Do you think it's a bad rap?
You know, I think so. Yeah, I mean, listen, like look what happened the first time this happened to him. You know, if someone had done something like that to my kid, I wouldn't just settle for some money. You know, I'd make sure the guy was in jail. You know, and it just really goes to show. I mean, as soon as, you know, they got the money and they ran. I mean, that's really what happened the first time. And so, you know, I don't know. It's a little crazy, and I kind of have taken a step back from the whole thing, because it is a bit of a circus. And you know, if the same thing was happening to me, I wouldn't want to drag him into it, and vice versa. So I try my best to keep a distance from it, but. Like I said, it's still a friend of mine.
A character witness? Was you there?
I guess so, but I probably not. I mean, like I said, it's crazy, and I don't really want to be a part of it, you know?
But you like him?
I like him, and he's a friend of mine. I'm not saying I wouldn't do something like that. It just hasn't been brought up to me, and I don't think he'd want me to either, just because, like I said, you know, if the same thing was happening to me, I wouldn't want him to.
What reaction has happened to you from all of this?
What do you mean?
I mean, people, do people inquire of you a lot about it?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, you know, people always have like their opinions. They always, you know, it's funny. I mean, people always talk to me about him because, you know, I'm one of these people who will tell you anything about my life, really, if you get me going, you know. And so, yeah, I mean, I freely and openly talk about him and stuff like that. But overall, you know, he's just a good friend of mine.
You wish him well.
Yes, of course I do.
What got you?
All right, so that's Macaulay Culkin. That's his own words. You know, when he's on Larry King, I don't know exactly what year, so I don't know. You know that about him being his lover. I don't know where he got that from.
It was Hollywood.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's just people's hear stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But this is his own words, and he made some real good points. But Sam, man, probably your first time hearing that. I actually listened to this video yesterday. What do you think about Macaulay Culkin, you know, and what we just talked about with the Michael Jackson situation?
I heard little clips of that throughout the time. Little thing. I never heard that in its entirety that way. Right. Little things trigger things that he really said that kind of sticks out to me. First off, the way he said that Michael Jackson didn't communicate well for people to understand. Well, we know how any little thing that you say, we know. Motherfuckers will run with that shit and take it somewhere completely left. And that's not even the mainstream media. That's simply comments in the comment section. So if somebody asks them, do these kids sleep in the bed with you? You go, yeah, they in my room all the time. Not realizing it's the size of a fucking hotel, Mike. Right. And you're not explaining that, Mike. Yeah, that looks crazy to people. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Macaulay Culkin shed some light on that. Another thing he said was, I forgot something he said that really kind of stood out in my head, but little things that he said just made real sense that no, there wasn't nothing. It wasn't anything going on. And Mike was genuinely just liking to be around. And Michael talked about it often, why he liked to be around kids. He didn't consider himself a god, but he considered himself godlike. And God said, I forgot what the fuck he said, but being amongst the children. Shit.
Right.
So, I mean, I think that people are really just trying to destroy him, one, because they don't understand him, two, because of what he owns and what he had.
Yeah, and it's just like, again, when you build propaganda up, when you get a media machine like HBO, Sundance, and you put a good documentary together, and you got the power of social media, people can now start believing, that this is absolutely real. It's a guy named Taj Jackson. I'm sure you understand who he is. He's been, fighting. If you see this, Taj, we would love to have you on the podcast to talk about this. We see you hitting a lot of media outlets, and I see one of his videos in the YouTube suggestion right after that video, and I'm just like, it'd be great if you came into this podcast, because we do actually reach a lot of people if you want to get your message out. But I'm glad that the family's still fighting, for him. As far as that second Leaving Neverland, obviously we talked about the numbers on HBO being about close to about 2 million probably by now, kind of being dismal. So now they're trying to continue. This wasn't enough. Let's try to continue to tear this man down. Remember, facts versus allegations. You got facts versus allegations on the table.
Exactly. And not going to do this ad nauseum. We're not going to, but when we start seeing trends when they're trying to take away a man's music and legacy, like, let's really think about that and really dive into that. If they turn the button off, there's no music of Michael Jackson anywhere ever. We're not talking about a man that was with DNA found, there was tapes found, there was this found. No, this is merely allegations because people don't understand. And everything that he's ever done can be taken away. Just can't let that go. And no real media outlets are out here talking about it the way we're going to talk about it. So, hey, if anybody wants to come on behalf of Michael Jackson, like Oga said, your platform is here, man. Come on.
Sir, you can get in touch with us. Look right in the description box, no matter what platform. Our emails are right down there. Get in contact with us. Anybody from the Jackson family, real members, because if you got some fake people who hit us up in the past.
Because your last name is Jackson. I mean, you fucking family members.
Right.
Mike, man.
If you want to come on and speak, we're more than welcome, open up the platform, for you. But yeah, man, that's a good, perfect actually segment right there, man. And we're going to close out. And at this point, man, another episode of the Uncensored Truth podcast.